Good morning, everybody. Guten Morgen, buenos dias, everybody. How you doing on this Wednesday morning, March 13th of this year? That is 2019. Hope you had a good Friday. Sorry, Tuesday evening. I was having fun. I was watching WWE SmackDown Live, while also simultaneously flipping back and forth watching the finale of The Bachelor. Let me repeat that in case I was stuttering. I was also watching the finale of The Bachelor because I actually have been intrigued in watching it throughout the season. Maybe not as intensely as diehard Bachelor fans, Bachelorette fans. I even have my application in to be a Bachelor for the next season for Bachelorette, to be a Bachelor, for the future. Thought I'd be casted, but you can't win a contest if you're not entered. The point is, I was watching both those shows, WWE SmackDown Live on the USA Network, and ABC's The Bachelor on ABC, of course. So I was enjoying my evening, blah blah blah, and on my handy dandy phone. Sorry about that. I was gonna sneeze. On my phone, I get one of those alerts from app to have, from the ESPN app and the NFL app, actually both of them, that Odell Beckham is going to the Cleveland Browns, traded to the Cleveland Browns, and Le'Veon Bell signing with the Jets. Don't worry, I'll have a separate video about that breaking news in regards to Le'Veon Bell. But OBJ going to CLE, going to Cleveland. OBJ to CLE. Interesting. Interesting for a plethora of reasons, to be quite honest. I mean, just the Giants. I mean, I don't know where to start. Well, let's just start from the beginning. For those that don't remember or don't care to remember or just didn't know of this, New York Giants general manager Dave Gettleman took to the podium on February 27th, back during the Combine times, to address the media during the NFL Combine. And also, being asked, millions and millions of questions or whatever, someone asked the general manager of the New York Giants, a smart man, and I hope he is, but someone asked about the rumors swirling around wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. and if they would entertain trading him and what would it take to do so. A player whom the Giants signed to a 5-year, $90 million extension in August of 2018. Again, August 2018, literally 1 year previous. Obviously not a full year, but, last off season, before the start of the last football season, near the end of summer, blah, 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 during that time, August. And he said, Dave Gettleman, general manager, New York Giants, said, and I quote, "We didn't sign Odell to trade him. That's all I need to say about that." All right. Not saying he was lying. Not saying this or that. But I have a feeling, and it's evident now, that in the back of his mind, just like any general manager, just like any team owner, do what's best for the football team. Do what's best for the franchise. And if you get an offer from a team that's so grandiose and big that you can't, offer you can't refuse, from The Godfather, Don Corleone, maybe an offer I couldn't refuse. I can't do that voice. Anyways, then they would trade him away, which they did, because 13 days later, 13 days from that date, the Giants trade Odell Beckham Jr. to the Cleveland Browns. And what do they get back in return? A first-round pick, number 17 overall, one of the Browns' 2 third-round picks this year, here in upcoming 2019 NFL Draft, and safety Jabril Peppers, a New York native, going home. He's coming home. Tell the world he's coming home. He's going back to New York. He's going to be playing for the Giants. Jabril Peppers going to the New York Giants. So the Giants get first-round pick, third-round pick, 2019 draft from the Browns. The Brown and safety Jabril Peppers. So 2 draft picks and a player. A pretty good player, I may add. I'm sure Jabril Peppers is happy about going back to New York in a personal note, but in a football note, he's like, dang, I wish I could stay in Cleveland, see where this goes. As in chances of going to the playoffs. But business is business. The Giants and Browns made the decision for these players, to be quite honest, making trades. That's the difference between trading and trades during the offseason, then truly free agency that did also start with the new calendar year. And I did mess up with a tweet that I had on my NFL podcast Twitter handle at @TalkingUnderscorePackers, and I would say a new friend of mine, I call a local celebrity of mine, or local celebrity here, Bill Michaels. You can follow him on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, or you can just see that I retweeted what he said, calling me out on my poll that I had, which is fine. Hey, he's right. He's not wrong. But I was asking, what's the biggest free agency move so far with the start of the league year in the NFL? And I put Odell to the Browns, Antonio to the Raiders, maybe on to the Jets, or someone else / nothing was interesting. And he let me know 2 were trades and one was an actual signing. But I just lumped them all together. But for me, wanting to get into broadcasting, I really should have realized it. And I do know the difference. I just put it all together in my head because it was all happening at once and because it was the start of the league year. But still, my bad, and I actually appreciate that he called me out. I'd rather be called out than think that or have that perception that people think that I thought everything was free agency sort of thing. Like, I knew the difference. I just, stuff happening. I should have just said, what's the biggest transaction or transaction that's happened at the start of the new NFL league year. Have been all right because those 2 trades and signings, trades and free agency signings, all are lumped into transactions. So if I worded my question, he probably wouldn't have even responded. Though I'm going to be honest, it does suck, especially for me that wants to get into broadcasting, that, popular ones or ones that I look up to and have talked to. I've talked to Bill Michaels, not in depth, but a little bit. So then to talk to him about asking for advice and seeing if there's opportunity for me in local radio stations to get my foot in the door, blah, blah, blah. And now, now the one time he does respond to me, specifically, whether my personal Twitter handles, my personal Twitter handle, and then all my podcast Twitter handles, and otherwise. So whether from my personal Twitter handle at Army_Strong_06 or my NFL specific Twitter handle at TalkingUnderscorePackers, it'd be cool if he did, or any, verified, or, professional, we'll just say, paid professional, talking sports, reply to any other of my tweets or any other things I'm talking about in sports, whether Packers related or just football and sports related. But it was something that I did wrong is when one of them finally sees a tweet of mine and then responds to it. It's unfortunate, but hey, he was right to do so because he's not wrong. He's right, I'm wrong. So shout out to Bill Michaels. Again, you can find him on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, or you can listen to him on the radio. Our nationally syndicated radio show, Bill Michael Sports. Or find him on his website, BillMichaelSports.com. Or is it BillMichaelSportsNetwork.com? Either way, check him out. But just find him on Twitter at Bill_Michaels. I'm sure he has his web address and other links in his bio there. But moving right along from that, like I said, that's what the Giants get. That's what the Cleveland Browns get. And okay, like to me, I mean, again, I'm not a professional. I don't have in the know. I don't have sources. I don't have 2 to 6 phones like Adam Schefter or others, getting information and getting, as we call it in the WWE world, because I also host a wrestling podcast with the Dirt Sheets, with sources of knowing what's going on. But to me, to my knowledge of the limited that I would have gained, nothing changed in those between those dates. In those 13 days, Beckham seemed like he was going to be staying with the Giants. The Giants and the Browns made a transaction, a trade, a day or two earlier, before, with legal tampering time. And I thought, okay, that's all the business they're going to be doing in relation to each other. And in regard to Odell Beckham Jr. himself, I thought, maybe they'll try to give it one more run, blindly trying to see what they could do with having another year with Eli Manning, Odell Beckham, Saquon Barkley, the rookie sensation running back, who's awesome. So just crazy how this all this happened. So it's somewhat surprising. But, if we see on how, the Giants side, rebuilding things, the Giants using the second overall pick on Saquon Barkley, ignoring the simple concept of positional scarcity and passing on impactful players like Sam Darnold, Denzel Ward, or Bradley Chubb, Bradley Chubb went to the Browns. In October, Gettleman traded former first-round pick Eli Apple to the Saints for a 4th and 7th-round pick. And Eli Apple almost immediately stepping up and in the starting lineup for the Saints and helping them turn around their struggling defense at the time. So, kind of a head-scratcher there. And then earlier this month, Dave Gettleman, declined to put the franchise tag on free safety Landon Collins, which would have held his rights, who, by the way, Collins, a 3-time Pro Bowler, would have held his rights for one more season at 11.5, 11.2, I think it was, $1 million. But no, they're like, we don't care. They let him off. Collins probably signs a 6-year, $84 million deal with their division rivals, Washington team. He's going to Washington, D.C. to play football for them, to then now face you guys, the Giants, twice a year. I mean, I know it's not a new thing. I'm not saying it's a new thing that's happening. I understand it happens a lot. Okay, it's happened last year, I'm sure, too. But that was a head scratcher, too. And it makes me think, and I'm sure it makes people think even more so with Odell Beckham being traded and that being the surprise that he was traded, and surprise that the Browns are the ones that are getting him. Like, Browns fans now can have hope, not just to win games, period, not just to be 500, but I'm hearing division champion expectations already this season for the Cleveland Browns. I'll talk about that when we talk about the Cleveland Browns side of things. But for right now, the New York Giants side of things, they're in rebuild mode. This is going to be let the process happen, as in Dave Gettleman, saying to the fan base, let the process happen. We will grow around Saquon, because Eli Manning's career is near the end, obviously. I probably think he'll be retiring in 2 to 3 years. And then where do they go? Maybe even best and behoove the New York Giants to go after a quarterback this NFL draft season, meaning this during the NFL draft. Remember, night 1 of the NFL draft is on April 25th. How do I remember that? Well, 2 reasons. I have an NFL podcast. I better remember that. I'm an NFL fan. I really should remember that. 3rd reason, April 25th is my birthday. Every 4 years, usually. Hold on. There's some actual breaking news. I'm watching SportsCenter on mute, of course. Earl Thomas intends to sign a 4-year, $55 million deal. Sorry about that. I was looking at the TV. $55 million deal with the Baltimore Ravens. So Earl Thomas is not going to the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to the Baltimore Ravens. So I won't have a separate video for Earl Thomas. I'll just say it right here, right now. Earl Thomas not going to the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to the Baltimore Ravens. See, this is why you should be watching me live. I have my own breaking news from those in the business doing the breaking news, like Adam Schefter. I hope to be maybe even like an Adam Schefter in the future. But it won't happen overnight. Point being is, Adam Schefter breaking it on SportsCenter. Earl Thomas intends to sign. You never know. He could back out, like, that Minnesota Viking player. But he intends to sign with the Baltimore Ravens and not the Dallas Cowboys, like and most expect. Well, and also some other breaking news in politics. Ex-Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort sentenced for foreign lobbying and witness tampering, bringing total time faced to 81 months in prison. So, hey, I got two breaking news. One on the political side, because I do have a @politics_WI Twitter handle. And in the NFL, Earl Thomas going to the Ravens. But back to this, Giants total rebuilding mode. There might even be like the Cleveland Browns of the NFC now. Trying to slowly get to where they are. So it's going to be a long process for the Giants to see where they go. But it be what it be. It be what it be. But let's see. Let's talk about the Browns side, because, two teams to tango to make this transaction happen. So let's just start with this. Because the Giants are eating the $20 million signing bonus on Beckham's deal, the Browns are getting a relative bargain as part of this contract. Cleveland essentially has Odell Beckham Jr. signed on a 5-year, $77 million contract with $19.5 million guaranteed. All but $2.75 million of which comes from this season. And if you think about it even more so from the Browns' perspective, his deal averages $15.4 million per season, though he is owed to $47 million over the next 3 seasons, which is less than Sammy Watkins. But there you go. Now also this is the Browns team that's trying to rebuild. A Browns team that had hope last year, beginning to have hope, bringing in Jarvis Landry, changing the tide in Cleveland on the field of with their play, and also in the mindset of that organization within, along with changing the mindset of Cleveland Brown fans. Because I know people, whether it's WWE superstar The Miz, whether it's my good friend and host of Talking WWJ, you can follow him on Twitter at Talking WWJ. He's a Cleveland Browns fan. He actually works during the season at the stadium. I don't know exactly what his position is or what he does there, but he's technically an employee, at least the Cleveland Browns stadium, with the team and whatever capacity that is. So that's actually pretty cool. Anyways, he's a big fan of the Browns, and each year, he's just hoping, for them to improve. And after, Baker Mayfield is drafted there, maybe get the 4 wins. Well, they got to 8 wins, 8-8, and then this year, seeing where they're going to draft, and, talking to him just last week about the Browns. But now, if I talk to him right now, like if I called him up right now and asked him his thoughts, and I can't because he's at his other job doing work, making money, he'd probably be saying, big things are coming here in Cleveland. He also probably would temper the expectations and say, I'm hopeful for this season. Probably gonna, we're gonna have, or I have higher expectations now. But I also want to caution my fellow Browns fans that it probably won't be happening right away this season. Maybe the next season is when we can playoff push, Super Bowl chances, division chances. But also he's pumped for this season, but tempering it a little bit because he is a Browns fan. Remember, you think they can't have nice things. Sort of psyche. You talk about bad stories or something that I used to learn when I was in therapy, or bad things in your head that you get repeated over and over, and it just becomes, what your expectations. Well, try to have some now good things and good stories and good things to take from, like last season, would just be the simple one to just take and have hope for this season and the seasons upcoming for the Cleveland Browns. So I'm thinking, I myself, as a Green Bay Packer fan, as a Packer fan, and as you can see here with the shirt, graduate of UW Oshkosh, go Titans. Maybe a low key, I should be cheering for Cleveland, at least on the AFC side, because hey, maybe one day we have the Cleveland Browns, Jacksonville Jaguars, and Oakland Raiders in the AFC playoff picture, and them being one of the final four with the Patriots probably one of these next 2 seasons on the AFC side. And the Packers made some moves too. They made some defensive moves. Also, the Browns got Sheldon Richardson from the Vikings, so that was another transaction happening for Cleveland day previous. But back to Jarvis Landry, who had a 5-year, $75 million contract last off season. Oh, and as everybody knows or should know, if you don't, I'm going to tell you right now. Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry are good friends going way back to the days together at LSU, and repeatedly tried to recruit each other on social media to come play for their respective teams. Now they'll be playing together. They're going, how great is that? Now they're going to each want the football, but with them being friends, I think they're going to be okay with one getting it over the other as long as it's A, but if it's a team, and B, individually, those the distribution of the ball between those two is equal. Let's put it that way. But either way, very, very interesting and telling. I certainly look forward to seeing how this all goes down. But Odell Beckham Jr. going to the Cleveland Browns. Craziness. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Welcome to share this video to anybody. Maybe even I'll probably be the one sharing it to Bill Michaels himself. But definitely welcome to let people know about this channel. Subscribe, ring the bell. Like I said, I am 30 years old, and I do feel that I have found my calling in sports broadcasting and podcasting in that kind of realm, and would be honored to be on Bill Michaels' show, even as a guest for 2 minutes or something, to share my thoughts on things, Packers football or whatever related, and then he can school me again on what free agency is and what what trades are and the understanding of that. But either way, it's all good fun. I respect Bill Michaels highly, obviously, and hope to hear from him soon. But I hope to hear from all of you as well. Awesome people, guys, girls, men, women that love football. So hopefully you do subscribe or ring the bell. I have plenty of videos this week. I think I have like 8 or 10 videos scheduled for this week alone that I'll be doing obviously by Sunday, 11 p.m. Central. So there you go. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. You're welcome to follow me on Twitter at talking_Packers and my personal Twitter handle at army_strong_06. Find me on Snapchat or Instagram. I'm trying to be on both more often at StevieK_06. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the weather in your area, and above all else, as always, take care.